I'm not a squeamish person, but there are some things that really push my buttons. Watching somebody be lit on fire is one of them. I really have problems watching people dancing in agony, desperately trying to douse their burning bodies, screaming for help. The first time I saw this in gaming was at a Caesarland in Chicago in the early 2000s, at an arcade machine running Metal Slug. Metal Slug as a whole is one of those games that graphically depicts violent combat, and kinda makes you feel like shit for racking up points by killing hordes of not-Nazis. It's kind of an anti-war game in that way, or at least a tactile test of whether you're a sociopath or not. Of course, being a game that both glorifies and condemns the brutal ugliness of war itself, there's a flamethrower weapon in the game, and the effects of that weapon are as graphic as only Metal Slug can render. I think this little burning soldier dude animation scarred me for life. So, when the BBQ Pack for Payday 2 came out, I wasn't really pleased. I mean, new content, right? But still, don't really like using fire. In Payday, fire is an extremely useful tool, however, and having the equipment in the BBQ Pack is a tactical must. Since we're forced into using these weapons, but I don't like fire very much, I will bestow upon each of these weapons a score out of 5. Say, burning little dudes from Metal Slug. That's grotesque enough to put my point across, I think. First off, the most obvious checkpoint in a fire-oriented weapon pack, the Flamethrower Flamethrower. 2 observations from a technical standpoint. First of all, the canister is way too small. I know that Payday weapons have shied away from any weapon being attached to the character model itself, but in the case of the Flamethrower and the minigun, they really should be lugging around a big ol' pack of ammo or tank of fuel. Because the sick fuck who originally thought of the Battlefield Flamethrower designed it to shoot out a jet of gelled gasoline that sticks to its targets. So it's not really that you're setting things on fire with a little can of Sterno next to a lighter, is that you're spraying them with stuff that's on fire and won't go out no matter how hard you struggle. The visual should be more like a jet of liquid than this little pyrotechnic display here. Secondly, as a delivery method for the fire effect, the flamethrower is very effective. It's a good stun lock weapon, since even if it doesn't kill immediately, the enemies you hit with it, aside from the cloaker and the dozer, are stuck in a geez, oh geez, put me out, oh gosh, I'm on fire animation for a little while. There's also a bug with the turrets in the current build that allows the flamethrower to damage the turret directly without hitting the armor. This may be a working as intended kind of bug, but it makes the Flammenwerfer unintentionally useful against turrets. But you're sacrificing a primary slot to do it, so the overall usefulness of the flamethrower is put down a peg. It doesn't lack for ammo, but the pickup rate is atrocious compared to how many little flame units you're using to actually kill stuff. It's still fun and somewhat useful, at least on overkill, so I'll give it a 3 little burning dudes from Metal Slug out of 5. The Stakeout shotgun is one of those interesting weapons which has changed quite a lot over the course of the game. As the second fully automatic shotgun, and using the model of my favorite shotgun of all time, the AA-12, it's impressive on multiple counts. In terms of dealing direct damage very quickly, the Stakeout has few equals. In terms of ammo conservation and economy, it's fairly average. I don't have too difficult a time filling my ammo pool, especially with a good Econo Shotty as a secondary. This is the case now, primarily due to the changes made to the skill trees that make shotguns even more attractive to enforcer builds, including a higher pickup rate of ammo overall, increased accuracy and damage, etc. The Stakeout's primary feature is being able to walk up next to a bulldozer and say, "Tag, you're it," at 500 rounds per minute, or anything else, really. The Stakeout has been eclipsed in some ways in more recent updates, by the Jocelyn in terms of immediate damage, and by the Breaker in terms of overall power. Despite that, there will always be a place in my heart for the AA-12, and thanks to the new changes in skill trees regarding shotguns, the Stakeout is more powerful than ever. For these reasons, I award the Stakeout 4 little burning dudes from Metal Slug out of 5. The inclusion of a shotgun in the BBQ Pack was likely to highlight the new incendiary rounds. These little Geneva Convention violators are a bit of a mixed bag. They decrease your damage overall, but add a burning effect, which lasts for a little while, making these neat little fire and forget rounds. They also bust through shields, which improved their general usefulness for a good long while, but you can do that with any shotgun now. Cloakers and dozers are pretty much impervious to the fire effect, and since your damage overall has been reduced, you're typically not going to be killing any of them before they kill you. I don't see the usefulness for the Dragon's Breath. They kill my shotgun damage, and I don't find the fire effect useful enough to counter that. Plus, with the current lineup of shotgun sills, the fire effect is somewhat less needed for them. This might super upset some people, but I'm gonna give the Dragon's Breath rounds a 3 little burning dudes from Metal Slug out of 5. Speaking of being outclassed, the Piglet is one of the few weapons in the game overall which have now been totally outclassed by newer weapon released since their inception. As a 6-barrel grenade launcher, it was in a class of its own, outstripping the M79 for firepower. With the new incendiary rounds, which blanketed an entire area with fire and served a very useful area suppression role, the Piglet was a potent tool when used correctly. The trouble is that it takes forever to load. To me, the more effective use of the Piglet were the fire rounds. You could blanket an entire floor of a building with fire at the drop of a hat. The explosive rounds didn't do enough damage to kill many enemies immediately, and if you were caught having to reload, you wouldn't be able to return fire when the enemy dusted the black soot off his face. The China Lake from the Wolfpack does just as much damage, but has a way faster reload time and a higher effective rate of fire because of it. While I always enjoy watching Washington PD Party of 5 bounce up and down on an invisible trampoline made of high explosives, I never found the Piglet to be at all that useful. I give the Piglet 2 little burning dudes from Metal Slug out of 5, and I'd probably throw in an extra LBD if it had a slightly bigger ammo pool, but we're always working with what we have in the now. The melees for the BBQ Pack were fairly forgettable. I've rarely seen anyone use them since, and I've personally never used any of these, except for maybe the spatula, and then just for novelty value. They're statistically identical to many other melees around them, they're not particularly visually appealing, and at the most, they're worth making a jokesy video where you run giggling around a map, smacking cops in their buns with a cooking utensil. I give the melees in the BBQ Pack 1 little burning dude for Metal Slug out of 5. The final item in the pack, the Molotovs, are the best item in the pack, and probably the best throwable in the game. Like other grenades, you get 3 initially, and they spread the fire effect similarly to the incendiary grenades. All who enter die, other than dozers and cloakers. You can just press a button, and bam! Instant fiery barricade, or troublesome set of shields down, or spawn point shutdown for 15 seconds. The Molotovs provide the best utility in the smallest package. You can make fire without having to sacrifice your primary or secondary, and now that throwables can be regenerated, it's the perfect little bottle of firewater. The Molotovs make the pack. They are my default grenade at all times. They're useful in almost every given situation, and they're the one item you should buy this pack for. I give them 5 little burning dudes from Metal Slug out of 5. The second reason to buy this pack, other than the Molotovs, is that for the Dragon's Breath and the incendiary grenades, you will get an ammo type you can use with any shotgun or grenade launcher that comes out from now until the end of time. So that's potentially an infinite value from this one pack, as long as Overkill are still making DLC for Payday 2 in the year 10 billion, which, let's face it, it's Overkill we're talking about here, so probably yeah. By that argument alone, the BBQ Pack was worth $4.99 when it first came out. That, plus the AA-12 and the Molotovs, guarantee that it's still worth whatever discounted price it is at now. It's definitely on my list for top 5 Payday 2 DLC, and for all intents and purposes, I would consider this pack a must-buy.
God damn it, Shell.
Me?
Get the fuck out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft.
Fuck out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft!
That's really good.
Oh, and make sure to turn the lights off on your way out. I'm gonna play Five Nights
do
at Freddy's after.
do the Houston voice. Get the fuck
Don't
up!
act
Don't
dumb.
act dumb! Don't act
Don't
dumb!
act dumb.
I can't do it!
I can't do it.
It's like a Chicago Squidward.
The fear when you're nothing more than a Chicago Squidward. You remember this about earlier? How have we gone from like serious talk to Chicago Squidward?
SpongeBob! Don't act dumb! Don't act
I'm playing Minecraft.
Guys, the Krabby Patty formula. Go get it.